Welcome to the 23rd week of pregnancy. You are in your 6th gestational month, and with an apparent belly that you can already take a preferential row without crooked eyes. You're already talking to your belly and it hurts, you know? Down there, halfway up the Beatles' hood, you're in pain. Calm down, I will explain everything that is happening to you with your body. The news of pregnancy. Do you have a video of your baby for you? Nanny Very feeding tip is a tip for this week, including to get rid of that pain that calls pelvic pain or pain in the round ligament. You know what? Stay with me and I'll tell you. Hello, I'm Monica Ramiro. I'm thrilled to have you here. How are you feeling in your 6th month of pregnancy? Have you gotten used to the idea of the belly well? Have you changed your center of balance? How is the pain? Tell me before I start this video, then we will compare here in the comments what you complain about most during your pregnancy, or if it is full, you have nothing to complain about. I want to know now what has passed. It has already been nausea. These things are already there behind. Dwarf that you have hyperemesis gravidarum. If you don't have an account for me, if it's pain, if it's difficulty sleeping, if I know it's still without possible, and let's see if I'm going to get some help here that I'm going to give you in this video. To begin with, I want to tell you that your belly looks here how it has grown since the first day of your pregnancy. Your uterus is already 22 centimeters tall. It is already above the navel, which brings sensitivity here in the waist, and it will reach up to 40 centimeters by the end of your pregnancy. With an average gain of 1 centimeter per week, it's baby that doesn't leave him. I consider this one of the best stages of pregnancy. The belly is still not so heavy. You no longer have as many discomforts of the first trimester. And now the daddy's going to start to feel the baby, not yet putting the little hand there on the surface. He's going to have to maybe sink a little bit, but if the baby's moving, it's just the right time. The daddy can start to feel it. Or your partner, then call. Call to feel this little baby who will soon have more and more movements. I told you about pelvic pain. What is that? It's a pain that we feel that it can come from the navel down there in the groin. It happens because it is stretching a ligament called the round ligament. Actually, it's 2 ligaments, one on each side. And during pregnancy, what is the uterus enlargement? That ligament, it can be stretched too much and cause this pain that, as I said, can come from up there, can only be felt down there in the pelvis, as if it were right there in the pelvis, you know. It's bad, it's uncomfortable, it tends to get worse. When we have a very intense day, when we stay out a lot, when we make sudden movements, it tends to get worse. And what will improve? It's in this video here that I'm going to leave for you. But stretching helps a lot, okay? Unfortunately, this pelvic pain can accompany you until the end of pregnancy, but we don't like having pain. Pregnancy is not a disease. It is not meant to be difficult. It is meant to be enjoyable. So let's work so that your pelvis becomes stronger and this ligament can stretch more without hurting, so that it can stretch without leaving you in pain. The good news is that your estrogen is also high, which is another hormone that can make your hair more voluminous. However, this hormonal explosion, especially from the progesterone owner, can be a little more headache now and relax our stomach valve too much, increasing heartburn that is no longer easy, right? They are already suffering from heartburn. She is suffering from reflux, but she insists on being present during pregnancy. Unfortunately, as I have said in other videos, heartburn can now be due to the stomach valve, relax due to a diet that is not, okay? Very spicy foods with a lot of preservatives, with a lot of chemical additives like these junk foods, the more packages we open instead of peeling the food. But we are causing heartburn and reflux, and we still have super slow digestion, so pay special attention to your diet. Avoid liquids during meals and go to bed right after eating. All of this can make your ZIA worse. Yes, there are medications that can control it, but only with the guidance of your doctor, not all of them. Those that are safe during pregnancy or are safe in appropriate doses, so talk to your doctor, okay? I will share my experience with Lucas. I managed to control food during Larissa's pregnancy? No. I went on medication and I really have a chronic problem, so I keep taking my medication because of heartburn. So I know what you're going through and I don't want you to go through it. So be careful. Oh, soda also makes coffee worse. I love coffee, but coffee is also another enemy of well-being during pregnancy due to heartburn mainly. Remembering, you can't abuse the coffee, no. Caffeine makes the baby very agitated. 12 cups a day is enough, and this also applies to all teas that have caffeine, such as our beloved tereré and chima. I've talked a few times about leukorrhea, which is the increase in vaginal mucus during pregnancy. But what I didn't tell you in these last videos, I'm here to remind you that you're following your pregnancy with me. You're giving me that honor, aren't you? To follow every week what happens to you and your baby, and you still leave a like here for me, share with pregnant friends to help me. So let's get to the tip. If you notice that this mucus is not transparent or white, if it has a smell causing itching or irritation, it may be a fungus or bacteria that is proliferating beyond normal. Then you need to seek medical help. Unfortunately, Candidiasis is very common in pregnancy because these bacteria and fungi end up loving a moist and warm place. And that's what we're offering to these little animals just to drive us crazy. And now, with your big little belly, changing the subject so quickly, have you ever felt it harden, especially after a physical activity or sexual intercourse? She gets a little hard up here like this, at the top. Have you ever felt that? You may be experiencing Braxton Hicks, which are training contractions. They are not painful, and they happen occasionally. They do not increase the frequency. They don't mean you're in labor, they just mean your uterus is training. And I'll tell you the difference. Imagine that this here is your uterus, this is your brain. He's elongated, he's still big, and the Durex are rich. They do that. That's why we feel up here stiffening, you see? But when that real contraction for labor, it's going to happen here. Oh, what's going to happen? Look at your brain. What's happening to it? It's shortening, and as it shortens, your baby's little head appears. Until your baby is born. That's the difference between course, right? In an illustrated way, I'm showing you the difference between real contractions and training contractions. Real contractions, in fact, we will feel pain. It's a pain that will radiate to the back. And if you're just having this tightening of the belly, it's just stiffened. Braxton Hicks, completely normal. Then you tell me, Monica, I'm feeling it. None of that. Calm down. Sometimes we don't really feel it. There are many women who go through without these contractions or without feeling them. Last, it happened with Pico, so it's okay. Now, my favorite part I want to tell you about your baby. Look at this hot guy who is already measuring about 20 centimeters from head to butt, 28 centimeters. If we count the legs, do not forget that they are only approximate measurements and weigh 460 grams. Almost a pound. He's already measuring a ruler, weighing almost a pound. He's big and he's full of skin. Their skins are full of wrinkles. You know why? Because now in 4 weeks, it's going to quadruple. It's going to get 4 times bigger. He will gain a lot of weight, and his skin is already prepared to be able to accommodate all those little fats that are coming. But the weight gain is also due to his bones, which are even stronger, even more rigid, even more calcified, which causes his movement inside the uterus to increase, right? In the walls of the uterus, then increases the chance that you feel and watch this video for you to drool on this child. As I said, the bones are getting stronger, so is the one in the middle ear, which makes him hear the low sounds better now. There are people with thick voices, so he will hear better. And since he's hearing better, it's going to increase that child's scares as well. Belly jumped. Your son just got scared. Time to calm that drinking down a little bit. Oh, what a pity. And now you can call your child a swimming champion. He is swimming in 1 L of amniotic fluid, and since he has control over all his muscles, his movements are fully calculated. He does exactly that. I often say that feeling the baby's movements is the best sign of vitality. What does that mean? We know he's okay. It calms us down. So stay calm whenever you are feeling his movements, even if it is the hiccup, right? Stomach jumping there, even if it's the scares. As pitiful as it is, it's a great sign of vitality. If you're not feeling your baby very well, It's still okay. Well, the trend now is just increasing. As he grows, you will feel more and more A. Sometimes we are so busy with our daily lives, with work, with things around the house, with things we have to do, that we don't repair his movements. We get to know each other, and we will only feel it when we lie down on our bed. It was on our stomach. So he doesn't like it much. He misses bedtime, and we miss him more. Moving between 8 and 9:30 at night are the favorite times of our puppies, that they are there, girl. But I'll send them around, and we stay quiet, let mom sleep. I joke that it's our training for the sleepless nights of the baby's first months of puerperium. Since the 9th week, your pancreas was in formation, but now it assumes its two main functions. The first is the production of digestive enzymes. He is swallowing amniotic fluid, and all the solid part of that fluid is already being digested and being accumulated there in the large intestine since last week, and is forming meconium, which is the baby's first poop. And the second function is the production of hormones to regulate glucose levels in the body. Before, it was your body that is doing this, and your baby is becoming more independent and does not need this help anymore. Now he'll do it himself. And finally, your baby's eyes, they are already moving, if it improves the movement we make when we are sleeping. You know, when you get those little shakes. But the iris is still without coloring, which will happen a little bit later. But continue to follow your pregnancy here with me, which I will tell you about. And my food tip this week is 2. It's about iron and vitamin C, which, although it seems like they have nothing to do with each other, are very dependent on each other. You need a lot of iron to prevent anemia. And where we find iron, we find it in red meat, in dark green leafy vegetables like watercress, like broccoli, like kohl, and we also find it in beans. However, in order for us to be able to absorb the iron from the beans, we need to soak the beans for 12 to 24 hours. When it soaks, you will see that it will form several bubbles on top. It's phytates in addition to causing a lot of gas, which is something that pregnant women know well what it is, right? This slow digestion, how does it increase gas? In addition to greatly increasing gas production, it doesn't let you absorb a lot of nutrients. So this is super important. It soaks the beans and changes the water every 34 hours at dawn, not at dawn. You are sleeping, resting. You will need this energy that you are saving. But for us to absorb calcium, we also need vitamin C, where we find vitamin C, especially in citrus fruits. I leave you with some images passing for you, SE, inspired by foods rich in that nutrient or that vitamin that I'm telling you about. Do you know which food has as much iron as vitamin C? Broccoli. What about me? Broccoli already has the two together. Put it in the diet at least once a week. It's delicious. Open my tip of the week. I'm going to ask you to eat before going to the supermarket, because when we are pregnant now from 23, our appetite increases even more. We go out of control with hunger. And when we are hungry, we end up choosing to buy things. It's not so healthy, but the easiest to grab, as our body craves cookies, biscuits, and chocolate due to its laziness. So how do we avoid junk food? Simple. Don't buy it and don't keep it at home. So as not to have it at home, when you go to the supermarket, you go after lunch, you go after eating your snack, because when you're hungry, these are the foods that we end up choosing to take with us. The same goes for thirst. You may begin to notice that your cart will have a lot more liquids if you are thirsty. Everything we look at that is more liquid makes us want it, right? Always have a bottle of water on hand to keep you hydrated. It will help too much to avoid stretch marks to make your intestines work. Pee? There's no way to escape all the time. But now it's a little easier. It's not urine. Now we don't have as much desire to pee as we did at the beginning. But calm down, it comes back. We can't celebrate yet. So make a list, be more focused on these things. I love strolling through shelves because they sometimes inspire me to make a food I haven't made in a while. You know when we seem to lose the habit of doing something then? Taking a walk is good, but focus your walk first on the fruits and vegetables part, the most natural part, the part that will bring you more health. Make the purchase there first, and then you go to the rest will be better for you and your baby and for your whole family. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me enjoy it for myself. I'll see you in the next video.